He'll also be thinking if he does make the draw, will John pay him in return if should he make the straight? So that'll also come into his calculations. And he's decided yes, he probably will.
And he does call.
So we'll take the river card.
And it's a queen. Doesn't hit the straight for Simon.
One card too high for him. So now what's he going to do? Well, I'm not going to try and even second guess what he's going to do.
He checks.
$24.
7,000 the bet from John, and Simon raising it up to 24,000. It's a bold move.
We saw him do this play earlier on, didn't we, in one of his earlier matches, and the player who did it against actually laid down. But I don't think he'll get away with this one. I think John will know him too well and think he's trying one on me, because it's hard for him to represent. If the jack had come across or something else had come across, the club maybe he could have represented, but it's a tough representation this is, so I think John will probably just call him. Yeah, there he does.
And he does. And the aces are going to win it for John Falconer. Simon Noab can't bluff him out of that hand. And do you think that's in part because he knows him so well?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, John does know Simon's play, and he knows he's capable of making these plays, so he's going to call. Sometimes he's going to be right, sometimes he's going to be wrong, but probably best thing Simon could have done there was let that one go, and if it had been a club, the play would have probably stuck. But coming the queen, John's worked it out correctly and made a great call.
And that will give a substantial lead to John Falconer, approximately 180 to 130.
Huh? It was straight. Well, I was...
No, I mean if I hit my king.
I had king queen, so I was middle pinning, weren't I? So, and I've hit the queen, and then if you haven't got the ace, then it's...
They started at 160 each. So 25,000 above and 25,000 below. Simon bets up to 7,500. John Falconer. Simon betting the suited deuce and eight.
Once again, he's not betting the actual hand. He's just betting his position. He's on the button. He's saying, "Okay, well, I'm going to have to try and get my chips back," and that's what he's going to do.
John calls with the Jack 4.
There's the flop. 3, 4, and 6, all the hearts. Giving John a pair, the 4s, and a heart, which is the Jack of Hearts, which is sitting in his hand to make the flush. Simon says, "Okay, if you don't want to make a play, I'll try and represent again." He's got some chance of making a straight, obviously, with the offsuit 5. But what he's trying to do here is represent the ace. See what happens on the river. King of diamonds. Simon's forced into, he's forced into representing now. He can't stop now because he knows he can't possibly turn this hand over and show it now. It's a good play from Simon. See if he can get away with this time. Possibly can. That 4 isn't looking very big in John's hand.
And he folds.
Yeah, no, it's a good play from Simon. He knew he was putting himself into a trap, and he knew he had to try and get out of it. And if he just checks on the river, he knows he's got no hand, 8-high. So he's going to have to continue the play and hope. And the cards that came helped his play along a bit, didn't they, with the ace and the king. So good play from Simon. And John also couldn't read him for that, so had to fold.
That won't let him much.
Deuce 4. John checks. 9 and 6 for Simon. Pair of deuces and a pair of 4s for John. Pair of 9s for Simon. Simon bets. John calls.
It's a 3. It's an interesting 3 because the 2 pair, obviously in John's hand as boss, but a 5 now would make Simon a straight. see the river. It's another 3. No help for either hand, but John trying to trap Simon probably here now. He's thinking, well, he may represent this, and I may just call him down.
John, 8,000 from the 9s.
And John doesn't hesitate going to his stack, and he's got caught out, hasn't he?
That's right. That's
9s and 3s beat 4s and 3s. So.
Yeah, John didn't quite work out what was going on there, and he didn't even hesitate. He called him straight down. He didn't realise that the pair had counterfeited his pair, so good play from Simon.
And that pot for Simon Noab has moved him back to almost level pegging with John Faulkner. Only about 3,500 separating the two.
So, everything to play for at thepartypoker.com World Heads Up Poker Championship for 2005. And hand 17.
Deuce 10.
Call.
John Faulkner calls.
5,000.
And Simon raises up to 8,000. And John Faulkner immediately calls.
Yes, I think we've seen this somewhere before. This when Simon starts to fire on all cylinders, he kind of lulls his opponent into playing inferior hands, doesn't he? But it's worked out well for John Faulkner in this one. He's picked up the 10 in the 2 jacks on the flop, and Simon's now having to bet into him with no hand, so could be interesting.
John checks back. 2 checks.
River card. 8 of diamonds. And Simon's now forced into betting this, and John calls him straight away.
And the 10s and jacks will take it for John Faulkner.
Oh, Brunson.
And we've played about half an hour, so we're going to have a dealer change, and Patricia will go away, and David will take her place. And while they're changing dealers, look at the action percentages. Big difference in raise. Simon twice as likely to raise as John Faulkner.
Yeah, he's twice as aggressive, as you can see from the percentages there, and that's what will either win or decide this match, because John's prepared to play the cards, as we said earlier, and Simon's going to make the plays. But John, thinking, well, he's going to try and make the plays on me, he's just calling him down, isn't he? Sometimes he'll be correct and sometimes he won't, but I think that's going to be set the tempo of the match depending on what Simon does. He's probably the catalyst in this match. Well, they are friends, but obviously they're taking it pretty seriously, to say the least.
Turned into the king of filth.
He says you're calling with filth. I think that's what he said. So, oh dear. I think what Simon means is you better keep calling me with this filth, because I'm still going to carry on raising.
And you see with a deuce 7, he raises it up to 11,000.
9,000.
9,000.
John with the 3-4. May not want to play that sitting out there. No, he doesn't.
And shows the 3-4.
You could have hit 2 pairs.
Yeah. Simon will not show the 2-7.
No, he's not going to show him now. He's saying, I think he said to himself, well, if he's going to sit and wait for cards, he'll have to hit them every time, because I'm going to test him all the time now.
Yeah, it's Simon the Edge Noab. Most of the time with my friends and everyone, I've got the psychological edge on any bets and any conversations that we have, any arguments we have, so I always tend to win. I am a little superstitious, just if cats walk past, and you know, if I play in a competition and I use a bathroom and I'm winning that day, then I use the bathroom every day. I love bluffing, the reason being because it gives you extreme confidence when you make someone pass a very good hand, and the other thing is when you do have a good hand, you always get paid, and that's the job is to accumulate chips, and bluffing gives you supreme confidence. Just try and get a feeling of if he's got a big hand or a small hand, and really it's all down to betting a hand where you know if someone's confident or not confident, where they call or they raise you. That's the way I feel.